ఒకసారి యూట్యూబ్ మొబైల్‌లో ఓపెన్ చేసుకొని చెక్ చేసుకొని యూట్యూబ్‌లో వీడియో ఏమొస్తుందో, ఈ గూగుల్ మీట్ తీసేయాలి. లేదంటే ఇదంతా వాళ్ళకి వినిపిస్తుంది. గూగుల్ మీట్ తీసేయండి ఇమ్మీడియేట్‌గా. క్లోజ్ చేసేసేసి కాల్ చేయండి నాకు ఒకసారి.
So, very good evening, everyone. Hope I'm audible. Just a second. Okay. First and foremost, I sincerely apologize, for the I got a technical issue and I couldn't start. So, very good evening, everyone, and I hope everyone I'm audible and screen is visible. Am I audible? Is the screen visible? Great. So we'll start now. So the title itself is very interesting today. From problems to opportunities, right? So from the last 2 days, we have been discussing about SDGs and design thinking and everything. But today, our focus will be on where we can identify the problems and how we can turn them into the opportunities. Right? When we're talking about the problems, we are specifically talking about the SDGs. That too, the list given by the Startup India directly. So, what we'll do today? Let's do a small recap on. Let's do a small overview on what we'll be doing today. So we'll be discussing on sustainable SDGs and design thinking, and after that we'll be focusing on exploring the problem bank, and after that we'll be converting the problems into opportunities with the five whys technique, and finally we'll do a small team activity and we'll close it off. So here, the first thing, if we go with that, first the objectives are very clear: strengthening understanding of SDGs and design thinking. So let me ask you this. What is SDG? And what does design thinking have to do with this? Okay, I'm trying to be louder. So am I audible now? Is it clear now? Right. So here the objectives are very clear. First and foremost, let us ask ourselves the question. It's not just about you. So let us ask ourselves the question: what is SDGs and what does design thinking have to do with anything with SDGs? Anyone? Anyone? What are SDGs and why we need to go with design thinking to solve the problems with SDGs? Okay. So here what we are doing is we are using the authentic problem statements for innovation. So why we are going with the specific list of problem statements is that, see, these days, if most of the people have the problem statements, they are all, lot of people talks about this problem, we want to solve this problem, that problem, and all this. But most of the ideas, most of the problem statements lack one thing, that is validation. We don't know the ground reality of this problem that we are talking about most of the time. So what we are doing is we are picking up specific problem statements and we'll see how we can innovate over there. That is what we'll be doing. And now, so when we talk about this SDGs, and if we get a quick recap on that, SDGs is very simple. It's a global framework for sustainable development. If we talk about sustainable development, what is the difference between development and sustainable development? It's very simple. So if the world wants to invest every penny that it has to solve all the problems, to develop however they want, okay, at one go, it doesn't work. It doesn't work because of multiple issues. So what works is that taking it one step at a time, And every development, every program, every project, every step that we take towards the development has to be sustainable. That means that it should work today, it should work tomorrow, it should work day after tomorrow, it should work for the generation. So we cannot rush it. So we need to have a global framework where each and every country comes together and solves the problem to develop themselves in a sustainable manner. And with this SDGs, we are trying to align the startup ideas with measurable impact. Measurable is a very good word that we are using over here. We can speak a lot of things, like, we can say, like, okay, I have got a startup which solves the plastic problem. That means nothing unless you say that within the next 5 years, it is going to solve the plastic problem, and we are expecting to remove 15,000 tons of plastic from the earth. So we are talking about the impact here, right? It is not just idea. We have to talk about the impact, especially when it comes to sustainable development goals, especially when it comes to the ideas related to that. And also when you talk about the design thinking, it is very simple. It is a human-centered approach. It is more of like you visit a person who is going to use your solution, you empathize with the person, define the problems, and you ideate to solve them. That is what we do with the design thinking. It's just a quick recap. I hope you have learned better yesterday. And when we go with the Startup India problem bag, we have multiple domains where we can really solve the problems. So one is like government, one is like healthcare, where the challenge is to access, affordability, and early diagnosis. These are very simple examples of that. And when you go with the education, equity, digital access, teacher enablement, energy, as you can see, I'm not focusing on reading each and everything over here. As you can see everything, but let us go to the real problem, problem bank, and see what is there. So when you go to the website, let me share the link of this website so that you can also refer on the later part also to help you. I'm sharing the link here. Now we can, if we can see, if we go to this website, we have multiple categories of problems. The first one is prevent food waste in India. So as we can see that we are wasting the food worth of 88,800 crores. Just imagine if you are getting your food for 50 rupees a plate, how many plates are getting wasted? How many people are really sleeping hungry? So this is one of the example. This is one of the stat that we should really focus on. And 194 people, 194 million people go hungry in India every day. Million people. So India ranks disappointing 119 countries in global hunger index. So being a almost developed nation, we are almost developed nation, and we still are at this level and what the government is doing and the opportunities that we have. So when we go with the what government is doing here, so it is trying to set up a new storage facilities, making distribution more efficient and distribution excess grain. And what we can do. So what we can do is like we can educate the farmers on good storage practices, providing transportation and storage facilities, redistributing leftover food from party leaves and so on and so forth, setting up compost plants. So what we can do here is very simple. Let us see, like let us see very simple. These are like these are different activities that we can do. Each activity itself is talking about itself is coming up with like ideas. Educating farmers on good storage practices. You can build an app where you can list out all the storage practices. Also, we can add. Okay, so also we can add artificial intelligence to it so that we can guide the farmers in every step. Right after the yield, so we can guide them like what to do after that, like how we can store it, and like what is the yield that we have got, and what is the facility that he has got, and how we can optimize the facility to get the better outcome. All this is that one app that we can create. Otherwise, we can go with the transportation storage facilities. We can build some, or we can connect with the storage, the existing storage facilities, and we can build an app like where farmers can see different storage facilities around them and different transportation options. We can redistribute leftover food. I strongly believe like we have got army different this one like Robin Hood Army and lot of other NGOs are doing this, but we can do still we can do better. Like we can build an app or website like where we can do the same. So these are all the opportunities, these are all the ideas that we can get right from here itself. We don't need to go anywhere. So how will our ideas help? Like solutions to reduce or remove this problem will. So what this does is like this will solve widespread malnutrition. These days, for every 100 urban kids, at least 70 people are like facing this condition. Even though they are eating 3 times a day, still they are facing 70% of the people are like facing malnutrition because most of them don't know what to eat, and maximum number of people, I mean, set of people doesn't get what they want to eat. We have hunger, deforestation, and groundwater depletion. So we can solve these problems. So when we talk about like okay, why I am doing it tomorrow, if someone comes and asks you why I'm like why did I build a app to for good storage facilities, or why I'm building an app to redistribute the food and all these things, we can say that we are preventing the malnutrition. We are solving the problem of hunger. So the impact is spoken in these terminals. Instead of ROA, I'm making this much amount of money and all this. Instead of that, we can talk about this. So if you go with the language over here, so what is the exact problem that we have? Unhygienic problems, unhygienic platforms and coaches, rodent infested infested plant pantry, malfunctioning washrooms, and everything. So if you take these problem statements, so let's say, just imagine this. Okay, this is a wild solution basically. Let's just imagine this. Just let us say for each and every compartment, or like for each and every compartment or for each and every platform, if we have an auto cleaning robot which can identify the objects, differentiate between people, and it can identify the different unhygienic places. It go clean itself and come back. And let me also go with the sensors where we can identify the issues and fix them automatically. For example, let us say recently when I went to, I usually travel for work. So when I went to a particular railway station, the problem that I faced was I couldn't even see where my train is coming. I mean, like what you can say, where this S3 or this map is coming. There's no display over there. Display is not functioning right from 3 to 4 years, I believe. So how to solve that? Right, that is one thing that we can work around. Apart from that, what the government is doing. So the initiatives that they are going up with is onboard housekeeping initiatives in nearly 900 trains and all these things, and the clean my coach service and all this. What we can do? So we need to track hygiene standards maintained at different platforms, toilet that process human waste, advanced food storage systems to keep rodents and pests in check. We can use AI to analyze what is happening with my food, and it should be monitored in a wide range. So if we can do that, then the outcome will be very simple. We can ensure a clean rail network in India, which around 23 million passengers are using every day. In the same way, we can go with the quality education. In the same way, we can go with the making India a disabled-free friendly nation. I mean, inclusivity that I'm talking about. Sports reforms and all these things, traffic management, crop insurance, pollution control. So we have hundreds of issues, or I can say hundreds of opportunities. In each sector, we can build 1,000 startups. So 1,000 sustainable startups, I mean. So India is not a place which is lack of talent. And India is definitely not a place which doesn't have problems. But where we exactly are lacking is solving them, at least as efficiently as it could be. Now, going further, let's talk about how we can convert the problem into opportunity. If we have a framework to do so, what it is? Let us focus on that. The first step is describe the problem clearly. Every problem that we see related to SDGs cannot be solved with one platform or one solution. We cannot end world hunger. We cannot provide quality education with one platform. So we need to be very specific about what problem we are trying to solve. As we have seen the examples over here, if we look here, this is a very specific problem that we are talking about. So yes. So if we are talking about this one, providing transportation and storage facilities, we can we can divide that into again transportation and storage, two different problems. So how we can transport the goods from place A to place B. So if I want to solve this particular problem, then as specific as possible, so we need to write down it clearly. Okay, so here, when we're talking about describe the problem very clearly, 90% of the problem will be solved if we write it clearly. And then we need to ask why iteratively. So we'll discuss about the 5 whys. And then we need to translate the root cause into opportunity to solve. For example, here, opportunity statement. 1 second, I'm stopping the sharing over here. I don't this one is annotated. I'm stopping it and I'm sharing it again. 1 second. Yeah, and I request everyone not to do the annotations and all those things, so that as it is getting broadcasted live, so it will be better if we don't go with this. And now, for example, if we go with the statement over here, for user facing problem due to the root cause, we will deliver the solution concept to achieve the impact aligned with the SDG. For example, for farmers facing the transportation issue due to they stay at remote places or something like that, we will deliver regular transportation in our
recording in progress.
Regular transportation in our vehicles or through our app to achieve transportation to the we can say instant transportation aligned with SDG will be this one. So this is how we can write our opportunities. So for user facing problem due to root cause so and so, so and so, so and so, this is how we can do it. So let me share it with you. So, and now let us talk about the 5 whys, the framework. So what it does is it is a root cause analysis technique where we ask the why repeatedly to move from symptoms to causes or problems to solutions, root causes to figure out. So here, the first step is state the problem precisely, ask why it happens and write the answer, repeat using the latest answer, stop when a root cause is identified, design the solution that addresses the root cause. Let us take example here to understand. First, the problem is the example that we can solve is okay. And in that, what we are trying to do is, the problem is patients in rural areas do not receive timely medical attention. So which means that, what is the exact problem here? Timely medical attention for the patients in rural areas. That is the main problem. Now, let us talk about how we can use 5 whys to analyze this. So first why is there are not enough doctors in rural areas. Okay. There are not enough doctors in rural areas. But why? Because most doctors prefer urban hospitals. Okay. Most doctors prefer urban hospitals. But why? Right. So now, most doctors prefer urban hospitals because cities offer better facilities and caring path. Okay. Cities offer better facilities and career paths, but why? Because rural infrastructure is underfunded. Okay. Rural infrastructure is underfunded, but why? Resource allocation prioritizes urban centers. So this is how we can simply keep on asking this why question for the previous why so that we can go deep into the solution or deep into the root cause. Once we understand the root cause, we can identify the opportunity, we can solve the problem, right? So that is what we are doing here. The root cause is lack of investment and incentives in rural healthcare. Opportunities, telemedicine with remote diagnostics, incentive programs for rural practice. And it comes under SDG 3. Let us see one more example here, education. In the education, many students drop out after secondary school. Why? They cannot afford higher education. Why cannot they afford higher education? Because family incomes are unstable. Why family incomes are unstable? Dependence on the seasonal labor. Why dependence on seasonal labor? Limited access to skill development. Why limited access to skill development? Programs are concentrated in cities. So the root cause is inaccessible skilling pathways outside cities. The opportunity is hybrid micro skilling linked to the local industry, scholarships, which comes under SDG 4 and SDG 8. Right? So this is how we can solve the problems. It's not just about identifying the problems. It is about digging deep into identifying the root cause and then converting that into opportunity. You build a website for that one, you build an app for that one, you build an ecosystem around it, you build a community to solve the problems, you do it online, you do it offline. It doesn't matter. As long as we can see the impact. You can build the awareness programs. You can talk about it in TVs and all. Do anything. As long as we can solve the problem. How we approach the problem, how we solve the problem is a different thing altogether. But identifying it and really looking at the solution is a different thing altogether. I hope I'm clear. Any push? Hope I'm clear until now. Right. So it's time for the team activity now. So pick a real problem for the Startup India from the Startup India problem bank. And apply, empathize, define, ideate the process that we use for to design thinking. Run 5 whys chain to reach the root cause. Draft 1 or 2 opportunity statements for prototyping. And I'm sharing the steps over here in the chat so that you can easily go with it. And how we do it is this. I'm giving you the worksheet template as well so that you can follow that. So here, I need to take the problem, pick a problem, write the first why, second why, third why, fourth why, fifth why, and iterate it. It doesn't mean that you have to only close it till 5 whys or something like that. You can do it endlessly until you get the solution, right? And until you get the root cause. So, and then you have to write the opportunity statement accordingly. So as I have given you in two different examples over here, one is into healthcare and one is into education. When we are talking about the healthcare or education problem, the problem is very specific over here. We're not trying to solve the entire healthcare system. We are not trying to solve the entire education system. We are trying to solve a very particular problem over here. That is what I'm saying when I was talking about the state the problem precisely. So here, so patients in rural areas do not receive timely medical attention. It's a very clear statement. We don't have anything to further to dissect over there. So in the same way, we have to work on this. We have to take a problem and we have to work on this. You work on this 5 whys and all these things, and you have to fill the worksheet template over here. And if you do that, I'll give you some more practice problems as well, if you want to solve them. So you can see here, farmers face crop losses due to unpredictable weather. What we can do about it? Urban areas are experiencing rising plastic waste. What we can do about it? Small business struggle to obtain formal credit. So in the same way, students in government schools lack digital literacy. Why? We can ask why. Because they have not been there's no much facilities, digital facilities and all this at that time. In the government schools, that we can say. Why? Investments. Why? So these are we can go with the endless loop of why until we get a root cause. So women in rural area have low workforce participation. Why? So these all different problems that we can solve. So you can pick one among these 5, or also you can pick from the given link. I hope everyone can access the link that I've shared. Is it opening? Okay, please do that. So this is all I wanted to share with you today. So I just want every one of you to let us take 5 to 10 minutes of time and let us at least build one worksheet. Let us try and solve one problem, and let us build one solution today. So please take 5 to 10 minutes of time, write it, fill the worksheet template, and paste it over there in the chat. In the meantime, if you have any questions or if you want to ask anything, you can do the same. It is wonderful to see the work templates. Farmers face crop losses to don't provide weather changes damage crops. Farmers rely on traditional practices. They lack timely weather updates because localized forecasts are limited because poor infrastructure and access to digital tools. Yes, great. After the root cause, it would be great if you add this opportunity statement as well. And child care protection, like working women. Okay. Family, both parents working, grandparents away from grandchildren because need be base services required and all. Okay, we can add more into this. So this way, if we can continue, so if we can continue this way, we can. Okay, so great. It's like that I can see like some of you working great over here. So here opportunity statement provide farmers with a mobile platform for real-time localized weather forecast in local language. Okay, great. So this is a good sorry, good opportunity statement. And okay, students in rural areas struggle with okay poor learning. Teaching methods are sorry. Many students cannot understand lessons properly because teaching methods are mostly rote based. Because teachers lack access to modern training and resources. Because digital learning tools are limited or unavailable or unaffordable. We can also add that into this one. Because poor internet infrastructures and lack of affordable devices, that is also one more thing. And root cause is limited access to affordable, engaging, and localized digital education resources. To problem opportunity statement one, how might we build a low cost of offline or online learning platform with localized content? Yes, that's good. And how might we train teachers with digital interactive methods? Yes. So these are so this is how we can solve the problems. Now, right now, like within 5 minutes, we are able to solve this. So if we apply this one regularly, this is not just about solving the SDGs or something. Like we can apply the same thing in your life as well. If you want to reach goals, if you want to reach our dreams or something like that, or if you want to do something and if something is not working, so we can also apply the same in as well, and we can solve the issue, identify the root cause, and we can see the opportunities. We can solve the problems. So we don't take just this one as this worksheet template or this 5 whys or as just for this one, but we can also do the same for real-time problem solving as well in our life, in our work, in our relationships, in everywhere. So this is it, and thank you each and everyone for joining. I hope and first of all, I'm really sorry for the earlier inconvenience due to this. I've got a technical glitch over here, so I couldn't do that. And thanks for being patient with me, and thanks for listening to me. And really, I hope this helps you. Thank you, everyone.